all European Academies of Sciences, ALLEA, the umbrella organization for the European Academy of Science, has also organized here an important meeting on intellectual property rights. The Executive Director of ALLEA, Dr. Rüdinger KLEIN, will present his address on this meeting.
Chair, Excellencies, dear colleagues, the title of the Satellite Symposium was Intellectual Property Rights in the European Research Area, Grand Challenges and New Opportunities. It was indeed an event initiated by ALLEA, but we were kindly invited by the World Science Forum to join you here with this event, an event sponsored by the Hungarian Academy of Sciences, our very generous host, and the Hungarian Patent Office. The workshop, the symposium, was chaired by Josef Strauss from the Max Planck Society in Munich. Now, ALLEA, it was mentioned, is a European network, the European Federation of National Academies of Sciences and Humanities, and as you can see on the logo here, sometimes it appears as if Europe is sleeping under that bridge that links the Americas and Asia, carried as it is on the broad shoulders of untiring Africa. This may or may not be so. We were blessed in the committee to have as chair Sir Roger Elliott, who also served, as you know very well, ICSU over many, many years. And he certainly imparted the lesson that whatever we try and do in Europe, it has to be done in the context of the global science developments. Which is why I have 4 A's to mention to you, a longer list. Alan the other day tried to convince us that they only whisper one of their A's. We try and shout out all 4 of them. I will not summarize the event as such, but come straight to the intended follow-up. We believe that science in Europe needs a voice, an independent voice, a voice that is not the voice of the funders, a voice that is encompassing all the sciences. With our member academies, we are trying to work on analyzing and improving the framework conditions under which science can flourish in Europe, and we try and summarize what we intend to do over the next 2 to 3 years in the field of intellectual property rights under those 4 A's. We start with raising awareness, because so far, believe it or not, in large parts of the scientific community, the revolution that we are undergoing, a very bizarre kind of revolution, when it comes to introducing, implementing new intellectual property rights, is not yet fully understood. There are opportunities out there, but there are also immense challenges that risk changing the way we are doing science. Monday had alerted us to the fact that the future of global science, and that includes European science, is in the openness. And many of the national research funders, as well as the European Commission, are moving forward towards trying to introduce new regimes of data sharing, of open access, and so on and so forth. As scientists, we need to make sure that those praiseworthy efforts do not clash, are not hampered, should I say, by the emergence of new and ever stricter intellectual property rights regimes. There are alternatives. The alternatives are perhaps not so much between shielding and sharing and between protecting and promoting, but they are about creating awareness, creating knowledge among the scientists themselves so that they can find their way in this new regime. A regime that is ultimately going to work out in favor of science. New forms of exchange, new forms of funding cooperations between the private and public sector are emerging and are actively being promoted here in Europe. I mentioned the joint programming initiatives. The EIT has already been referred to in the previous talk. Finally, it is about application. As scientists in the different fields, we need to explore, we need to discuss, and we need to ultimately use the legal regimes that govern our institutions and our working lives. However, this needs to be done in a global dialogue, and we would like to invite the other inter-academy networks, and other kindred associations and groups, especially the young scientists who will be leading these networks in the generations to come, to join this debate and not to look the other way, because it is going to change the way we are doing science. Mr. Chairman, it is a fitting end probably to this World Science Forum that the Parliament opens its door to scientists on a Saturday. Mr. Speaker, I hope you would agree that we need to make sure that as of Monday, and then from Monday through to Friday, the voice of science is heard in the daily business of politics. Thank you very much.